right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue working on our stats, set up some getters for our component, and some setters and some other things to adjust the stats and make decisions based on them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. All right, welcome back. So now we're going to concern ourselves with a level, which is based on experience. And let me get that update. There it is. Our update level. So this one's a little bit more complex. So we're going to create a function called update level, and this function is going to take no inputs and no outputs because it's just going to act upon the state of this current state of the system, which basically is your experience. Okay, so we've got this thing here called the leveling constant, which is what we're going to use. So this is a little bit of a math formula. I'll explain why we do this. We're going to start by grabbing our experience, whatever that is at this time, and we need to find this function, the square root, and we're going to take the square root of it, and it's converted that integer to a float, and that's fine because the square root acts upon floating point numbers. We're going to take that square root and we're going to multiply it float by float with this leveling constant, which actually needed to be a float, not an integer. So I'm going to change that right now to a float. We're going to take this leveling constant and plug it into here. Finally, what we're going to do with this is we're going to type in floor to not int64, just floor, and we'll get an integer out of here. Okay, what's the point of this? Well, the point of this is going from levels of 0 to level 1, level 2, level 3 is fairly easy. It doesn't take a lot of experience points. But as time goes by, this function, as experience increases, this function, it will take longer and longer and longer to up your level, to bump it up to the next level. So, and the graph of that is an upward curve of experience. Your experience has to get higher and higher and higher to bump up the next level. And how high that is what this leveling constant is all about. I'm going to hit compile, and initially I'm going to set this to 1.1. We'll experiment with this number as we look at experience and level and how that all comes out, and by adjusting this number we can change the steepness of that curve a little bit, and I'll show you how that works when we start demonstrating what this does. Now, what we need to do coming out of here when we start the function is this prev level. We want to grab the previous level, and we want to actually we want to set the previous level. We want to set the previous level to the current level first thing. So that's just saving it off when this function runs, because this function here is going to calculate a new level. And then we want to set the level to this new level. Oops, not that one. This one. All right. So every time this update level runs, it'll take our current experience, calculate through this formula what our next level should be, and put it here. Now the question becomes, whenever we go up a level, we want to give the player some points that they can spend increasing their stats. And that isn't necessary, and then if they spend them, those points will be taken away. But they can accumulate them possibly over several levels before they actually spend them, and they'll just add up. And that's what this points is here. Points is going to be points are going to be added based on another little bit of formula. And so what we're going to do is take the level and the previous level and subtract them. What that does is it says we got some number, and this is in case perhaps this didn't get called or it missed. This will be 0 if they're the same level. It'll be 1 or more if the level's been bumped up. Usually it'll probably just be 1. It'll be 0 or 1 simply by doing that subtraction. We're also going to get a random integer in range. This one right here. Random integer in range. And for a level boost, probably a minimum of 1 point and a maximum of maybe 3 points that you get for a level boost. But it'll be random. And we can, this is something we can adjust to. We can even set those up as variables in here. In fact, why don't we just do that? Promote to variable and promote to variable, and we'll call this min points, and we'll call this max points, and we'll just make those, we'll expose those to our blueprint so we can set them. Alright, we're going to take this return value, well, we're going to take this value, which is either a 0 or a 1, and multiply it by whatever this generates. So that'll generate some points. And then we'll take the points up here. Points, we've already got it. Run this into here, and we'll just set those points. So it's going to take the points you've got. Oh, we need to do an add. Sorry. It's going to take the points you've currently got. Get points. We're going to take this out of here and do an add, integer to integer. Add it to the points you've already got and set that back into the points. Alright, so what is this saying? It's saying whenever we call this update, we're going to set the previous level to the current level, calculate what the new level would be, set the new level, then we're going to set the points to the result of this part of the function, which is just min points, max points. It's a random value multiplied by this, which if it's 0, it's just 0, and nothing happens. We could do this with a branch, but I felt the subtraction was just as easy. So that will set the points. So as you get experience, we're going to call this update. In fact, where we're going to do that is in the add experience function. Right here, just before we return, we're going to call update level. So what will happen then is as you add, as we do something to call add experience to the character, their level will automatically be updated, and it's always calculated based on their current experience level. So we have that one. Now I've just got some additional getters getters to apply. We need a function for get level, and just like before, output is level, and it's an integer, and we'll just take level and drop it on there. Simple. So we can always get the level. We need to, do we have a get points yet? No. So we need to get points. So let's add that function. Get points. We'll be using this in the UI to get these to be able to display them. So we'll just get the get points, not the function, points, get it, and the return value of this will be points, and it'll be an integer, and we'll plug it into there. And these can be pure. Get level can be a pure function. Get points can be a pure function. And we've got those get modifier and get and add plus up. So did we do an add plus up? Nope. And so we want to do a get modifier. Let's do a new function. B get modifier, and the output will be the modifier, and the modifier is also that's set modifier. Did we do a set modifier? Get modifier. Do I have a get modifier? We already did a set modifier. I'm sorry. We don't need to get the modifier. Well, maybe we do actually. We probably should get the modifier. And just like set modifier, to get the modifier, we need to know which stat it is. So we'll say stat ID is of type stat IDs, and the output is a modifier, which is an integer. So what we'll do is we'll do a get stat by ID function. Plug this in here. We'll split this struct, and here's the stat modifier. We'll just return it. Simple as that. And we probably want to get plus up as well, but let me think about that. Add plus up. Did we do an add plus up? No, we didn't. So now we need to add a plus up, which is the function that will be called when the user decides to spend one of their points to add it to their character stat. So we'll call this add plus up. All right, add plus up. So the plus up is for a particular attribute again. So we need stat ID, and it's stat IDs. The value that we're going to add to it, input, add an input. So we'll have a value, and it will be an integer. And the output, this doesn't need any outputs because we're just adding it up. Although in reality, we could go ahead and return. Now we'll just leave it like this. It adds a plus up. Other things will get the plus up. We did a get plus up, right? Get. Add plus up. Okay. So let's do a get stat by ID again. Plug in our stat ID. We can no, we don't want to split that. We want to do it this way. I want to break the struct, open this out, do a make stat. Bring this down. Bring all these across, same as before. There's the plus up, any modifiers, everything needs to get transferred. Here's our value we want to add to whatever the current one is. So the plus up here, we'll do a plus. I will grab that and put it down there. take this value, put it in here, move this over, plug this into the plus up, and then we've got our index. So again, we will need to take our stats, get our stats, go set array element, hook this up. The index we want to set is this one. There's the index. The item we want to set is this new item. And there we go. We've just added some value to our plus up so that that stat is now increased. But we still know the original value of the stat, but we know what kind of plus ups have been added to it. Compile and save that. And we probably want a get plus up. I don't see one on here. So we're doing pretty good. Let's do a get plus up. All right, same thing. Stat ID is of type stat IDs. And the return value is just going to be an integer. We'll just call it plus up. It's going to be an integer. There's our function. We can go get stats by ID. Plug this into here. Now this case we can split this struct pin and get our plus up value and simply return it. There we go. All right, we've got a bunch of functions. Our stats component is now complete. It does everything that we need the stats component to do. It allows us to get and set various values, to control it and modify it. But there's actually one last thing that we need to do on the event graph. But I think that's going to have to wait till the next video. This one's running a wee bit long, and I might have to shuffle the length of the other video into this one. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We got our component just about ready to go. There's just a few more things to do with it, and we'll be all set to start working on our health component next. So thanks for watching the video. We're going to go to another video here to finish this up, and then we'll move on to other things. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications when I upload videos, hit that notify button. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.